I remember vividly sitting in the car with my nephew when he was around 3.5, 4 years old. And we were driving off, I can't remember where we were going, and we're driving on the highway, and he turns to me and says, "Hey, Tia," which is aunt in Spanish. And I'm like, "Yeah, Josh, what's up?" He says, "Tia, how come that guy's driving so fast?" And I turn around, I'm like, "Oh, that guy? Yeah, that douchebag cut us off 2 minutes ago." And I'm like, "Oh, you know what? He's driving faster because he's able to accelerate quicker than we are." And he says, "But why?" And I say, "Oh, because his foot is heavier on the gas pedal, so his car can go faster than we can." He says, "Well, how come?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I guess he's running late. He's in a rush. He's got to get somewhere. I'm not quite sure." And he says, "Why?" And at this point, I'm like, "Oh, kid, I'm really frustrated. I'm running out of smart answers for you here, and I'm tired. I've had a long week. I'm really stressed out. So how about we just not have this conversation, okay?" But I don't say that. Instead, I turn around, I give him a big kiss on the cheek, and I say, "I don't know, honey, why do you think that is?" And we start a conversation. And I do this because I realize that he's only 3.5 years old. He's in a stage where he's going to ask why. He's going to ask how come. He's going to want to understand things because he's learning something new. And I was giving him that space to learn what he needed to learn, to ask the questions he needed to ask, to be curious about the whole experience, and to hopefully come away with some new knowledge. And at the same time, I was learning how to meditate. I was trying to teach myself to sit down for 5 minutes a day in utter and complete silence and just be still with myself. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't be present in the moment. I didn't even know what being present in the moment really meant at that time. And I was being tough on myself. I was berating myself. My God, I don't know why you can't do this. All of your friends are meditating and they say it's, getting easier and easier, and this is not getting easier for you. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Why can't you just concentrate for just 5 minutes? It's not that big of a deal. But instead, what I should have been doing was sitting back and saying, "You're learning something new. Just like your nephew was trying to learn something different that day in the car, you're learning something new. You're going to ask questions. You're not going to understand how things work. You're going to want to look at your experience and learn something from it based on how you're feeling in that time, in that space, and what questions come up to your mind." And this applies to anything that we're learning. If we're trying to stick to a healthy habit, same thing. We got to be kind to ourselves as we're learning that new habit. If we're trying to get back on the wagon of working out and we fall off on a Monday morning because we're too tired to get up in the morning, if we beat up on ourselves, we're not going to help ourselves through the whole thing. We're not going to learn anything new. We're not going to learn how to push out of our comfort zone. We're not going to learn how to be more comfortable doing something different. So understand that this is all a process. Anything that you might be learning right now, whether it's meditation, a new healthy habit, or getting back into a habit that you've dropped and you want to get back into, regardless of what it is, be kind to yourself in the whole process. If you have any thoughts that come along and want to beat you up because you're not doing something right, or how you should or could or would or any of that, basically take those thoughts, hug them, and let them go. That's all you need to do. Hug yourself in that space and just say, "It's cool. I'm learning something new. Maybe I screwed up. Big deal. Move on." Because we know we would do that for our friends, for our family, and for anyone else. So there's no reason why we shouldn't do that for ourselves. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.